Hello fellow human, welcome back to another Dank Doggo / ChoosingBeggar videos. I have a question for you. What is your favorite cake or dessert that you just can't live without? The first story by Nailbed1. I made brownies for going back to work and CB doesn't think it's good enough. Ugh, I'm so mad. During this quarantine, I took up baking. Turns out I'm pretty decent at it and everyone in the house loved what I made. And I put photos of my stuff on my personal Facebook since I was proud of it. Why not, Lamau? There's a Facebook group for my office and I put a pic of my brownies in there, saying I'd made a batch for when we would go back, and if anyone was vegan since there was eggs in them, and I would try to find a recipe for vegan brownies, so I was being fair. Well, no one was vegan, everyone was looking forward to it, happy days. We were allowed back to work today and I was on the morning shift, 10 AM to 6 PM this time. My brownies take nearly an hour and a half to make between mixing and baking and cooling. And it took me a bit longer than usual. I used gloves, a mask, and a brand new ingredients in case there was any COVID in my house. I cleaned and re-cleaned my cake container, cut the brownies and put them in a box, and sellotape the seal shut just in case, I guess. I don't know if that would help against the COVID, but I tried my best. Don't shoot me, lol. I came to work, told everyone that was there, "Hey, my brownies are in the break room, wire in!" And they were gone within like an hour. Felt good knowing that they were appreciated. Shift is fine and I go clock out when CB's clocking in, completely fizzing. And I make a mistake of asking what is wrong. Me, "Hey CB, good to see you, you okay?"
CB, obviously not. There's no brownies like you said you would bring.
Me, well yeah, I did bring brownies like 8 hours ago. We're on different shifts. What do you want me to do, Lamau?
CB, well you said you were bringing brownies and I didn't get one. How is that fair?
Me, well CB, if you're that desperate for a brownie, go to shops and buy some. It took me nearly 2 hours to make them, and I'm not picking and choosing who gets one. If you're that bothered, then next time speak to the manager and swap shifts so you're on the same shift as me.
CB, what the duck? Why should I do that? Next time just make enough for each shift change. It's not hard.
Me, blinks. Sure, whatever, CB. I was so mad that she had the audacity to say that to me. I should add that whenever we go out for office drinks, she's always the one who always manages to skip out on her round. Conveniently at the bathroom when it's her turn, or out for a cigarette, or just disappears. Ugh. If I can ever be bothered making them again, I'm making sure that every single soul in my work gets one except her. Well, no good deeds goes unpunished. I hope that CB won't discourage OP from baking even more delicious brownies. We have here the second story written by u/Darmasis. Your free junk ain't good enough. So I've been cleaning out the garage and the house over the past few weeks. Some stuff to charity, some stuff out on the curb. Usually the stuff on the curb is gone within a day or two with no incident. There was a mystery couple of weeks back of a bunch of old wads of gum flung out. But then I remembered I stuck out an old table that had been in a kid's room. So I decided that someone had flipped it over and spent the time to pick off the child's hidden stash and return the masticated lumps to my lawn. You're welcome and thanks. But on to the choosy story. Yesterday, I placed a wrought iron rack for holding outdoor barbecue gear on hooks. I get a knock on the door and a lady is there.
CB, free rack?
Me, yep. Need any help loading it up?
CB, it's a little rusty and dirty.
Me, want me to wipe it off or something?
CB, I'll take it if you spray paint it. Rust prevention, black.
Me, trying to be non-belligerent. Well, I don't have any paint.
CB, I'll leave you my number so that after you go buy some paint, it won't cost you much. And if restored it, you can give it a call and I'll come and get it. You can deliver even, maybe.
Me, that ain't gonna happen. After a little more worthless banter of her trying to cajole me into being a better person by not putting non-perfect free stuff or at least improving my junk to her liking, she beelines through my flower bed and across my lawn. I say, "Thanks for stomping on my flowers," and then she proceeds to fling the thing in her trunk and then say, "Screw you," while giving me the finger. Smiley face. That ChoosingBeggar just made me lose brain cells, Jesus. Next up, we have the third story shared by u/Meg Welded.
You didn't say I couldn't invite 1,000 people, right?
So the company I work for did a customer appreciation night for any of the customers who were interested with free tickets to a game with a local sports team. We had vouchers that delivery guys would have give upon request, but we also email a copy to our regular customers so that they could print it out. We made it clear it was a voucher, but it could be turned in at the box office. We told everyone that it didn't guarantee them a spot, so they should go before the night of the game to make sure they could get the seats they wanted. They were good seats too, lower level. So, the night of, a ton of people showed up, voucher in hand, expecting to get in like they were regular tickets. The arena did their best to honor them, but sure enough, there weren't enough seats, or some people couldn't get seats together. So then, in the generous move, the arena starts handing out tickets to future games. They largely keep people handy. We also reached out leading up to the event to the contractor that runs the concession stands to tell them that it is going to be packed. But they don't want to pay for more staff, so there are lines like 50 or 60 deep at every stand. It was kind of a cluster duck, but most people were at worst a little annoyed, but largely cool. So the next morning, the CB call started. Just mostly people telling us they were either turned away or indignant at the long lines, or pissed that they didn't get as good seats as others. The usual stuff, but one stood out. One guy called us to shoo us out, saying that he had printed off a bunch of those vouchers to hand out to his customers. He apparently telling them they were actually tickets guaranteeing seats. And he wanted to tell us that how terrible we were to make him look bad in front of his customers. I guess he may have been responsible for a significant portion of our overrun. The owner of my company wound up taking that call. Wish I could have heard, but then again, he's always lead by example customer service wise, so probably no real fireworks. But really, how do you invite your customers to someone else's event and play it off like you're one of the sponsors? TLDR, someone printed out a bunch of passes to our company's event and invited his own customers like he paid for it and caused overbooking and long lines, then called to yell at us about said lines and overflow. Well, steer your company's promotion, make it look like it's from his own company, then proceed to blame you when it goes downhill. What a jerk! Moving on to the fourth story shared by /Captain Levram. Woman tries getting free food with pics of her kids. This probably happened 2-ish years ago. I was working at a fast food restaurant, and if you dress up as a cow, you could get a free entree, kids meal, free side, or dessert item. First of all, people are already horrible and don't even do the simple task of tapping white dots to a black shirt. It's easy as this, and will do annoying things to cheat the system or try to cheat the system. Well, I was working outside in a drive-thru and this seemingly nice woman pulls up. She tells me that her kids were dressed up in their cow outfits but changed out of them because they went swimming in a pool. She goes, "I have photo evidence of them wearing the outfits." I told her that our policy simply is that you have to be wearing the outfits at the time you order the stuff. I had already had people get angry with me earlier in the day for not giving them all 5 of their meals free because they were too stupid to read the rules. She then started telling me how horrible of a person I am and how upset her kids are and how she's going to report my store. She asked me what the store number was and I told her. She probably thought I would just give her the crap for free so she wouldn't report us. I didn't budge while still remaining super friendly. She ended up complaining again that her kids were upset that I wasn't going to budge and wouldn't give them free kids meals. This woman was driving a brand new Acura SUV. She also could have simply bought the damn kids meal instead of choosing not to feed the kids just because their crap wasn't free. If she didn't turn into a complete monstrous tramp, then I wouldn't have been as difficult. If a sweet old lady came through the drive-thru and mistakenly had no idea that their kid's black and white stripes outfit didn't satisfy the requirements, I would have given her the food anyway because mistakes happen. I've given people free food before because they were having a bad day. We're allowed to do that. I am willing to work with nice, honest, genuine people. Rude people, I'm not. It's about how people act, it's not about me being quote-unquote right. Well, I've done some research. This is Chick-fil-A on Cow Appreciation Day. The fifth story shared by /Crack-a-Barrel. Guy tries to lower the negotiated price for a Switch after we already came to pick it up. This happened a few years ago, and it is probably the only choosing beggars that I've ever encountered in my life so far. So I was selling a Nintendo Switch and a few games that I owned, because I never played with it and I was saving up money for something else I wanted. So I posted pictures of it on Craigslist. And within a day, someone contacted me saying that they were interested in it. We negotiated the price to $200 and he said he was coming over to pick it up. I get a text from him saying that he's here. So I come outside with the Switch packed away in the box and I ask him if he wants to inspect it to make sure everything was fine. The Switch was in perfect condition and I barely ever use it. So he inspects it and when he's done, he looks at me and says, "You said in the ad that the controllers were in the colored ones. I'm not paying $200 for this because I wanted the color controllers with it. Since it's for my kid, her birthday is tomorrow." I told the guy that if you even looked at the picture I posted, the Switch clearly had the gray controllers. I asked him if he wanted to see the picture I posted because I had them on my camera roll and he declined. He then goes to say, "Well, I wanted the color controllers, not these gray ones. Now I will have to spend more money to buy another set of colored controllers. I only pay $150 for this. I even spent $20 on car service to get here and it's not what I wanted." And I told him that he's out of his mind. The picture showed everything that came with the Switch and it had the gray controllers. I'm not dropping the price because you failed to look at the posted pictures. He says, "I only pay $150. It's my kid's birthday tomorrow. She really wants it. I'm not paying $200. And I told him to go pound some sand if he's not paying me what we both agreed. And I start to pack the Switch up in its box. He then says, "Well, you better pay me for the car service I took for wasting my time." I laughed in his face and walked back inside my house. I sold the Switch for $250 the next day. Well, the only problem is that now he knows where you live, as it could easily backfire. Instead, meet up in a safe public place. On to the sixth story shared by u/TTYY balls. Choosing Beggars tries to steal clothing from a non-profit after I gave him a discount on a jacket. He then demands to keep the jacket. I work for a non-profit. My job is to help the homeless and low-income out of getting clothing and bus passes. They get $20 worth of clothing, shoes, sleeping bags, whatever they need from our thrift store. We're not allowed to ask how much money they make, so it's difficult to keep the system from being abused. This happened a few days ago. So a guy, CB, comes up to the counter, obviously not homeless, and has a jacket for $30, name brand, brand new leather. Now keep in mind that we don't get reimbursed for the $20 vouchers. It's literally the product we're just giving away. It's been cold in Texas lately, and he seems to be pretty desperate for it. So I tell him that he can have the jacket on his $20 voucher. He doesn't thank me. He just says, "Cool," under his breath. He says he has to go to get his wife. He pushes a basket full of the store's clothing. I get a feeling about him, so I keep my eye on him. He walks into the dressing room, and I can see under the door that he puts 2 pairs of the pants under the pants he wore into the store. Sure enough, he walks out and the clothing he took in with him has miraculously vanished. Time to play security guard. He walks up to the counter. CB, "Alright, I'll get that jacket." Me, "Oh, how about the 2 pants and 3 shirts you're wearing?" CB's face drops. CB, "I put them back." Me, "Nope, you're wearing them. Go take them off." I walk him to the dressing room as he's still complaining and telling me that he didn't steal anything. Me, "Look, you can take them off or we can have the police do it for you." He grumbles and goes into the dressing room and takes off the clothes and comes back out. I snatch 6 shirts and 2 pairs of pants out of his hands. CB, "I still want to use my voucher. It's mine." This mentally pisses me off. I have it happen at least once a day that someone feels entitled to a free $20, so this sets me ablaze. Me, "Alright, let's go to the counter." We go to the counter, I pull the jacket out and ask for his ID so I can get his voucher. The dumb donkey hands it over. I immediately take a picture of his ID, a picture of him. In total shock, my favorite picture. I go off on this donkey, telling him how much it pisses me off to get ripped off after doing someone a favor. He just stares in shock. I tell him to get out, tossing the jacket under the counter. He stares dumbfounded. CB, "It's my jacket though." I continue to tell him to leave as he's cursing me out. I pick up the phone and start to dial the police. He immediately smartens up and shuffles out, cursing all the way out the door. He's banned now. Looked his name up on Facebook and it looks like he lives in a nice house and can definitely afford a $30 jacket. TLDR, wannabe homeless gets a deal on a jacket, free, then proceeds to steal clothing. He demands a jacket after he's caught. Wow, a wealthy choosing beggar with no shame. That is just sad, man. On to the final story. But it's not safe. Almost forgot about this one. Last summer, I put a pair of tires out of the edge of my driveway. Low profile, high performance tires that were on my car when I ran over a nail. It was center of the tire, so it had the tire patch. And I actually had already ordered better tires for the car anyway. So these had less than 3,000 miles on them. But I needed to drive another day or two before the new ones came in. I drive very conservatively, therefore tread wear was practically indistinguishable from brand new thickness. I set out a sign, $50 as is. It should be noted that these tires were going for like $150 each brand new at the time, so I didn't feel that $50 for the pair was unfair. They sat there most of the day while I worked on my car in the driveway. Finally, one guy stopped, looked at the tires, and walked up the drive. He asked, "Anything wrong with them?" I responded, "The one had a nail in it, so I had it patched, but they both have less than 3K on them. And the tread wear is like new." He says, "That is not safe." I said, people drive tens of thousands of miles on patched tires all the time. If it wasn't safe, then you couldn't get them patched. He replies, "It's not safe, and you shouldn't be selling them." What should I do with them then? I ask. "Won't you just give them to me?" Will that make them safer? Was my reply. He said, "No, but I'm not buying unsafe tires." Again, I got snarky. Well, if they're unsafe, then you shouldn't take them at any price, even if they were free. He looked at my car and asked, "Did they come off this car?" Yes. "Won't you sell me 2 of those tires and then put these back on the car if you think they're so safe?" "Seriously?" I replied. "Why not?" He retorted. Butthole mode engage. I said, "These tires are not for sale, and for you those tires are now $100. Take it or leave it. But if you ain't buying, you're now trespassing." He said, "I ain't going ducking nowhere." I said, "Great, the police station is about 1/4 mile that way," pointing, "and cops drive by here about once every 15 minutes. And I won't even have to call since one should drive by any moment now." And I walked towards the edge of the road. Dude went dead quiet and walked to his car and drove off. 20 minutes later, I sold the tires for the posted price. So yeah, selling used tires, buyer wants them free because one was patched. When the sarcasm is used, he wants tires off my car. When refused and told to leave, he says no. Under threat of the police, he leaves. I mean, hope he could have agreed to sell those 2 tires he wanted for $500 each. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.